Welcome back, everyone. So, I am the proud recipient of a little package I picked up yesterday. I did resist the urge to open it as soon as I got it because I thought it would make a nice unboxing video. I haven't done one of these before, so we'll just roll the dice and see how we go. So, with my plane display here, I adapted my till, changed the layout because I was not anticipating getting a number 8 anytime soon. As it turns out, number 8, which also therefore means I have to redesign the till again, which I will discuss later on because it does throw a little bit of a problem with my layout. Okay, let's have a look. Now I have, for the purpose of the video, I thought I'd start it from scratch because we could cover a few bases. You know, the investigation on how this is being packaged, and then we can discuss whether it was correct or not. Obviously, no criticism on the sender. I think it's just something we should all learn, that when we post items, you need to take a certain amount of care, apply enough packaging so it's not loose in the box. So that brings me to my first test. So as I wiggle the box, I can feel the plane moving in the box. So not necessarily the best way to package it, because obviously Australia Post, they take all due care, but these boxes do get manhandled quite a bit. So the potential of damage, if the item can move within the box, yes. Rightio, let's have a look. Right, opening this. Let's have a look. Make sure this camera angle can get it all nicely. Yes, that's good, that's good. Okay, first look inside the box. We have, so he's obviously broken the plane down into various components, each in a bubble, its own separate bubble wrapped box, which I like. So not much packaging underneath the sole of the plane. Not a bad effort though. It's all been bubble wrapped. Oh, yes. Look at that beauty. Now, this managed to fall into my possession because of the price. So as I've said before, I am, officially, I have to admit to being a collector, but I do like the idea that all tools are for use. So the how shall I put this? The state of the tool doesn't really concern me as long as I can bring it back to a using condition, which brings me to the reason why this was so cheap. It has a hang hole. So you'll find quite a lot of the old tools have this hole drilled in the rear of the sole so that you can hang it on a nail. Quite an easy way to store tools back in the day. So, for me, I don't mind. It's actually, I think he might have given it a hit with a wire wheel. Not the end of the world. I'll be interested to see how flat that ends up being. Right. I think we might have to have a little look at the other components. So all the screws are there, I can see. Oh, lovely, lovely. So that's been packed quite well. I like it. I like it. As I say, the only thing I would say is if you're sending anything in the post, just ensure the item within the box doesn't move. Rightio. So he has obviously not done any refurbishing of this, other than, I would hazard a guess, as I said, just to clean up the sole of the plane. Probably should show you guys this. Okay, there's a bit of a shimmy shake on the blade, no big deal, plenty of life left in it. So I think he may have given the edge a bit of a hit on the grinder. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether all the components are original. That will remain to be seen. Just a little bit of dressing up to be done, bit of rust to be removed. Loving it so far. Let's have a look at the totes. I believe in the description there was a repair job to the rear tote, I believe, but once again, I'm not too concerned about that. As long as I can use the tool. Oh, lovely. Yeah, good packaging. Fantastic. Lovely rosewood handles. Yeah, so I can just see the crack at the base, common breakage, but the entire heel there is there. That's original. Yeah, very good, very good. Right. Love it. So before I go ahead and clean things, I might just assemble it just to have a look, make sure all the components work well within it. These screws have obviously been loosened previously, so there's no fear of damaging the screw head from tight screws. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, actually, let's pop the rear handle on first. As I was saying before, the potential that the components aren't original to the plane. Realistically, when you're talking about tools that are, around that 100 years, give or take, old, realistically, there wouldn't be many that are completely original. I mean, I'm not Christopher Columbus. I'm sure, 100 years ago, there were people exactly like myself that tinkered, that made tools operational. And if that meant stealing a blade out of another plane to make it work, or a frog, or, it's highly likely. But you know what? I don't care. Oh, so this is actually a made in USA number 8. I think that might be my first American made. Let's have a quick look. What have we got? England. Oh no, USA. I apologise. My number 5 is USA. Same as my 5 1/4. Okay. So you can have a home with all the other tools. So I'm just doing a quick adjustment here to try to get the frog sitting how it should. I obviously won't be using this as is. I need to give it a bit of love. I've been caught before where blades have been swapped out and the offset on the chip breaker hasn't matched the depth adjuster knob. And when I've tried to wind it all the way back, it hasn't allowed enough room. So I've now learned to have a look at all that. Okay, that'll be tight enough for now. Oh, look at this thing. I love it. Nice little restoring project. Get him up and running. There we have it. My number 8. Little bit of pitting on the sole, but once again, nothing that will affect the use of it. Quite a bit of surface rust, but I think she'll clean up beautifully. I think that will look quite at home on my cabinet. Now that I have received this beautiful plane, the beautiful number 8, which I anticipated not getting, what I did, I believe the course of events, I made my till prior to having the 5 1/4, I believe. So before the 5 1/4, these were all over, so you can just see the magnets showing. So my planes were one slot over, which then allowed my number 8 to come up. And because of the width difference in the planes, so you can see here, because my planes changed length and width, the divider strip was in the wrong spot. So as I say, prior to my 5 1/4, we had my 5 1/2, sorry, my 5 here, and so the width, these were the original slots. Once they came into play, I had to shove them all over, so I literally just planed back the existing and housed in new ones. It's a work in progress. I'm not concerned about keeping this pristine, never to be altered or touched. It's to display, you know, the till is designed to enhance what it's displaying. So the issue I have is this is where my number 7 was originally meant to be housed, with room for my number 8 to pass past this. So if I now take my number 8, so the plan was originally that is where my number 8 would have lived. Magnificent. Look at that. Beautiful. With my number 7, you're going to delicately balance that with my number 7 next to. Perfect. Love it. Poetry in motion. But its current setup has the 7 here. So I now need to work out, do transitionals go? And I slot my number 8 in here and then adjust the little shelf at the top. I do also have a beautiful little Ohio number 5 that didn't make the till board, but that does then provide room for the Ohio to slip in and become part of the display, which I would love to. I mean, I think that would look beautiful. The only issue is this little shelf that just houses my little bullnose. I'll have to somehow adapt that, possibly even just notch in behind so the number 8 can pass through. But there we go. That's a problem for tomorrow. Later down the track. So there you have it, guys. My Stanley Bailey number 8 unboxing. Very interested to see how I can get this up and using. We'll have a quick look before I let you go and just check the straightness. Oh, I tell you what, that's so close. Bit of a gap at the tail. Fantastic. Love it. Stanley Bailey number 8. Welcome home.